I'm the executive director of One B.C., and I'm also the fellow who ran against David Eby in the last provincial election. The province today is sitting at a critical crossroads, and today we have an amazing panel here and an incredible audience. Wow, this is amazing. So over here with our four panelists, we have Wyatt Claypool. He's a strong and principled communicator. He's a YouTube celebrity with his 80,000 followers on YouTube. Actually, of course, on social media, so look forward to hearing from him. And to Wyatt's right is Tim Thielman. He is the Chief of Staff for One B.C. He's a lawyer specializing in Indigenous law. A brilliant man who I've learned a great deal from in terms of the need for constitutional reform in this province, but also, the topic of Aboriginal title, which has become so critically important recently in this province. So that's Tim, and we have Tara Armstrong, who came down to Kelowna today. House leader for One B.C., and she's become an incredible critic of the government, particularly around the topic of this radical gender ideology. And this is something, as a father of 3 young children, I appreciate a great deal. So thank you, Tara, for your moral clarity on that topic and your championing it. And Dallas Brody is the leader of One B.C. Dallas, I got to know pretty. Dallas Brody, I got to know pretty well, campaigning on the west side of Vancouver, and then earlier this year, when John Rustad removed her from caucus. I talked to her and got increasingly involved with One B.C. and she has demonstrated tremendous strength. She has remained focused on the truth and speaking the truth. And every time I've seen Dallas encounter adversity, she's emerged stronger. She's fighting for all of us, and I appreciate that a great deal. So thank you, Dallas, and please welcome. So the format here is going to be pretty simple. We're going to try and keep the speeches short. We want this to be as interactive as possible so we can have a Q&A and have all of you come here and spend time on this Saturday afternoon to be able to ask questions. So we'll get started with Wyatt Claypool, who's going to give us a bit of a rundown of how we arrived at this moment here today. So come on, Wyatt.
Thank you, Paul. I've actually never even been the most natural speaker or the person who ever wanted to put himself out there in person. I remember the first time I ever did anything political for a nomination where I live in Calgary, Alberta, where I was literally shaking the entire time walking up the door. But I think that eventually when you don't see people making the sort of change that you want to see, you have to do it yourself. And the sad thing right now with the BC Conservative Party, and partly what I want to do here is head off the criticisms of, well, why are you guys doing this? Why don't you guys just unify with us? Check the website of the party. Read the platform. We're doing all the same things that they're doing, but they're not. Because actions matter more than words, and right now the actions of the BC Conservative Party are not conservative. Frankly, half the time their words aren't even conservative, but then they will say, well, we'll check out this one post that John made. When Charlie Kirk was assassinated and he tweeted out some good things about it, he then goes on to Mike Smith's show and then agrees with him that Trump and Republicans have something to do with this too, and the blame needs to be spread around. Because John and the party executive, will just say whatever they think the person in front of them wants to hear. But at the same time, when you follow their actions, they have not been conservative. So right after before the election, and I was disappointed to see it, but thinking, okay, we can just get through it and fix it. Remember the platform where they put out their own budget that was $10 million or whatever into a deficit? You're a Conservative Party and you're running on a deficit. Right now, they should be getting up and cheering the N.D.P every single day because they actually came in with a lower deficit than what the BC Conservatives were planning on running. It's absolutely insane. And then after the election, we start hearing rumors that, certain people are speaking out too much. Well, I was hearing complaints about Dallas. A month after the election, we haven't even been sitting in the legislature yet, and you start hearing people on the executive team or some of the more woke MLAs saying, well, there's some people who don't want to be team players. They don't understand messaging control. Well, why? Because they want to say something conservative. And so with Dallas, when they had kicked her out of the party for saying something we all know is true, that there are not 215 children buried next to the Kamloops Residential School. And you know what? That's great. That's a fantastic thing that there are not dead children under that school, but for some reason activists want to believe it. When they kicked out Dallas, they did the exact same thing that the BC United Party had done to John, and he still doesn't understand the irony of it. And even posts are being kicked out. And this is again, the flip-flopping. They ration you out. They'll say something that sounds conservative in the moment to get you to leave them alone. Dallas was a nasty, horrible person for having said something we all know is true. And then after posts being removed from caucus, they still have to run up there and say, well, she is right about it, though. She is right that it is a hoax, but, she did it in the wrong way or whatever. And now we have a party where they supposedly are against Sophie still. They're supposedly against DRIPA, unless you actually follow all the comments they make on these things, and they're not. The executive director of the BC Conservative Party, Angelo Isidoro, recently went on the podcast of Mo Amir, Van Colors. Mo is on the left, although I respect him because he actually says what he thinks. But Angelo went on that podcast and he was criticizing Dallas, Tara, as well as Jordan Healy because they were being too dogmatic about how people vote and what people think about DRIPA. It's part of the platform, and even at the time, what I always found mesmerizing was Mo Amir, someone on the left, presumably in favor of DRIPA, said, well, isn't that part of your party platform? And Angelo had to say, we'll ask John. Because they don't know what their positions are day to day. They just say whatever they think you want to hear in order so that they can go and act the complete opposite way in the legislature. Right now in the legislature, with 41 MLAs, they are completely incompetent. They can't actually hold the government to account because every single time question period starts, we have BC Conservative MLAs getting up and asking the same question over and over again on completely inoffensive topics where nobody could possibly disagree with them. There's no controversy. They'll get up and be like, crime is bad. Wait times in ERs are very long. It's like, okay, well, what are you guys going to do about it? They don't want to tell you, they don't want to actually articulate a conservative position on healthcare and say that we need to slash the bureaucracy and return it to the front line. They don't want
Wyatt, you have about 1 minute.
You're realizing that on my show and in person, I rambled the exact same way.
Well, if they want to listen to you more, they'll have to tune into YouTube.
And so the state that we are currently in, to sum it up here, is that we have a Conservative Party who is gaslighting you, who thinks that they can simply tell you that the platform is very good and that you have to ignore all their actions. A party that is currently over $3 million in debt and they want you to donate to them. And so we need to actually start a party that's going to have respect for donors, that's going to have candidates and MLAs who actually stand up for conservative principles, don't just say the right thing on X and then say something else on a radio show. And then that's why we're here today to organize everyone, to have everyone come to one location so that we can figure out how to do this. It'd be great if you guys could jump on board, help volunteer, help fund this party. We are going to commit to actually having reporting on how we spend, on how effectively we're doing, having open nominations, making sure that it's a party that actually stands up for the values of the people who work for it.
great. Next up here is Tim Tillman.
Thank you very much. I am the chief of staff to One B.C. Sometimes I feel a bit more like a slave to the cane. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about why I believe Dallas is the kind of principled and